Hi guys, so as Nina mentioned, my name is Katherine and I'm a member of the Delta class. And today I really wanted to take this opportunity to have a sort of open and honest conversation about how to form relationships and strong relationships in specific. But before I actually delve into the heart of my presentation, I have a confession I have to make. And that is, I have never been in a romantic relationship ever. So I've never had a boyfriend in the 20 years that I've been alive. And it might not seem like a huge deal to some of you, but when I started to see that my friends left and right were starting to get into relationships, getting boyfriends and girlfriends, I started to question why was it that I wasn't actually in a relationship. And so there were like three kind of thoughts. The first one I had was, well, I don't actually like anyone right now, so what's the point in trying to find a boy and make him my boyfriend if I don't actually like him? I mean, on the flip side also, if I did actually like someone, odds are I was too scared to say it. But the underlining thought that I would constantly have, that I'm not very proud to say I have, is that I don't feel like I was good enough. So for the longest time, I would actually think to myself, is something wrong with me? Like, am I doing something wrong that would turn guys off to not want them to make me their girlfriend? And as I would reflect upon this sort of thought, I started to actually realize that this thought of saying, is something wrong with me, wasn't just the case in relationships with romantic relationships, it's actually the case in a lot of my relationships in general, and especially with friendships. So when I was growing up, I've never had a so-called best friend, right? So if you think of a best friend as probably someone you can go up to and you pretty much can admit everything to that person and you don't, you share all of your secrets with. I've never had that sort of person before. I've always had friends. Don't get me wrong, I've always had friends. I've never had a problem making friends. And close enough friends, I never actually had. And it kind of made me realize that I never really had strong relationships. So instead of thinking, oh, what was wrong with me, I started flipping to the question of saying, well, why don't I have actually strong relationships with people? What was I doing that I wasn't really connecting with people and building a sort of strong foundation? And the answer that I reached was actually poor communication. And what I mean by poor communication is more or less lack of openness and honesty to actually have a certain, establish a sort of connection between me and a friend. And so a sort of backstory is I was very good at always hiding my feelings. Whether I was happy, excited, stressed, frustrated, angry, I was very good at bottling it up and not really ever telling anyone. And so this sort of lack of open and honest communication with people, I kind of began to realize was actually the key reason to why I wasn't having these strong relationships. Because when I'm not open and honest about myself to others, those people can't actually get close to me. And so this persisted all actually throughout high school. So I graduated senior year, started actually reflecting upon this. And so college and DCC was really a huge opportunity for me to actually get to meet new people. And so I'm very, very thankful for actually being in DCC because it's such a welcoming community and it gave me this fresh opportunity to sort of reinvent myself and establish strong relationships. And I honestly believe in the past 3 years that I've been at college, I have made the strongest relationships I've ever made my entire life and probably will ever make. And funny enough, this is how it started. It was actually a sort of spontaneous decision. So it was my freshman year in October. To be more exact, it was probably October 6th. because the next day, October 7th, is one of my current friends, his birthday. And so I had heard the night, like the day before, that it was his birthday the next day. So I just kind of made this spontaneous decision that I'm going to make him a card about this small with a quote on it and make him an origami rose. And I give that as his gift. And so the gift essentially was my way of showing my appreciation for establishing this actual friendship within 2 months. I'd only met him for like about 2 months since college started, but I already started to appreciate having him as a friend. And so this is what like the talk is really about, actually showing appreciation for people being there and supporting you. And so I started out doing birthdays. So I know a lot of the Delta class and Epsilon probably have seen my actual quote art, essentially where I would take lyrics or quotes and I would make them like calligraphy-like and send them to gifts, like use them as gifts to other people. And that was my way of showing appreciation. And so I ended up evolving my like gifts to being giving them in holidays, so like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's, you name it. I made so many gifts that I was pretty much known for it, and it was my way of showing appreciation. Now, as I started to actually get comfortable expressing myself and being thankful, I started also writing letters to people. So I wasn't at the point where I was comfortable enough to actually like, go up to someone and say thank you for just being my friend. I was too scared to do that, but I could write letters and give them to people. And that has really was able to help me actually open up. And so now I am so comfortable talking about all this and thanking people so much. Like I could go up to Josh, he's one of my best friends now. I could go up to Josh and tell him all the things that he's done for me in these past 3 years that have absolutely changed my life. And I thank him every day for being my friend. And that really, it really like demonstrates to myself that I have opened myself up to so many people. And really, I can't hide my feelings anymore. So I'm kind of so used to expressing them that it's kind of hard now for me to like keep them in. And I kind of want, that's like my key takeaway for you guys, is I don't feel like I see enough people who show actual appreciation for their friends. Like, I do see, like, okay, on Facebook, birthday posts saying happy birthday, or like they post like a picture of the two of them, and it's great and all, but sometimes I really think we lack that actual, like, one-on-one, face-to-face sort of actual appreciation. So I urge you guys that the next time the thought of just thanking someone for no particular reason, just go for it. Because I know on my hand, it might sound easier said than done, but I promise you from where I've come from, it will be totally worth it. And so I kind of want to leave you guys with an open thank you, right? Because that's me now. So I really, really do want to thank everyone for coming out today and listening to all the speakers, all of which have not disappointed so far, and I look forward to the rest of it. Okay, that was a little too honest. But I do expect the rest of them to all be fabulous as well. And really, I want to thank you guys for also listening to me. It is very difficult for me to confess all that I just did. I have come a long way, so I really do appreciate the non-judgmental faces on everyone's face. So now it's your turn. Whenever you get the chance, show appreciation for the people you truly care about, because at the end of the day, you don't want to regret it. So do it before it's too late. Thank you.